Lou here. Like everyone else who turned into E3 last week, I'm pretty much screaming over the latest games revealed at E3. Rather than talk about every game at E3, I'm gonna mostly talk about the games I'm personally excited for. Roll that intro and let's get started. Fire Emblem Three Houses. I know a lot of people are saying this game looks awful and boring, but honestly, I really like it. The plot feels very similar to Final Fantasy Type 0, but you know, actually fucking good instead of an overly edgy and shitty experience. I don't know, I just like the gameplay idea of managing a school of students and even them aging as you progress through the game. It just feels like a super creative and I absolutely love the character designs. Death Stranding. I know this game wasn't really at E3 because Sony chose to do their State of Play this year so they could focus more on next year's PlayStation 5. But my gosh, am I excited for this game. I still don't quite understand what Kojima means by a Strand game, but I absolutely love the concepts of connection and cooperation. The aesthetic is also really cool. It kind of reminds me of the movie Prometheus with its use of gray tones and inky black liquid stuff. Not to mention it has Norman Reedus with a funky fetus, and I can't help but love a game with Norman Reedus in it. Borderlands 3. Borderlands has always been a really fun game to play. I absolutely love the art style that reminds me of a lot of classic graphic novels, and the humor is wonderful. Not to mention there's guns with legs! How can I say no to a game where I can shoot unicorns from a gun and small guns with tiny legs? I can't say no, I'll tell you that. Cyberpunk 2077. The cyberpunk genre is normally not a favorite of mine. Sci-fi in general is not a favorite of mine, if I'm being completely honest. I'm a fantasy person, but this game has some interesting concepts. Not to mention the only reason I'm probably going to be playing this game is because of Keanu Reeves. Let's just be honest here. If people wanted people to just buy this potentially bad game, they got me because I will literally do anything for this breathtaking man. Tokyo Ghostwire. Okay, so I kind of missed a lot of the initial presentation for it as I wasn't home when Bethesda had just started their E3 conference and I sort of showed up halfway. But the director of that game, she's absolutely adorable. And when I was reading up on what the game was, I found it to be really cool. So yeah, I'm definitely going to give that one a try. Final Fantasy VIII Remastered. The only reason I never played the original Final Fantasy VIII was because I found the graphics to be big yikes, let's just say that. Not to mention, I was told quite a few times that the PC release for early Final Fantasy titles like 7 and 8 were kind of broken due to losing the master code and all that. Seeing that they not only properly ported it this time, but also remastered the models, I'm totally playing this game now. Though the models aren't gonna look fucking amazing, they do resemble PS2 graphics, which I definitely can handle a lot more than... Pokemon Sword and Shield. Who isn't excited for Pokemon? The Galar region looks absolutely wonderful, and I kinda hope there's gonna be some voice acting somewhere, because I would just really love to hear British, Scottish, and Irish accents throughout my Pokemon journey. I say, the new Pokemon look jolly good, lads. I do have to say that Sobel and Grookey are a couple of good boys. And all hail the fucking Wooloo. And look at that fucking crowd, mate. It's a bloody night. You all are free to name your Wooloo after me, by the way. When Sword and Shield is out, totally share me your Wooloos on Twitter. Animal Crossing New Horizons. You're telling me that I not only get to run a town again, but I also get to build it from the ground up? That sounds like so much fun! I honestly can't wait to play this game and build my own town where I run a dictatorship with an iron fist. I do kinda wonder how I'll be able to customize my character this time, as I really hope they finally ditch the question thing, because whenever I play it, my character always ends up looking like a bootleg of me rather than a decently accurate version of me. Kingdom Hearts 3 DLC Rewind. I want to put this here because I do want to warn you guys, do not expect this DLC to be a Final Fantasy world or something like that. This is basically a Final Mix DLC. For those who don't know, Final Mix is usually the definitive version of a Kingdom Hearts game once it sells enough to warrant another remaster of it because money. Think of it like Persona 5 versus Persona 5 The Royal. From what the trailers show, we're going to be getting some major revamps to the final chapters of Kingdom Hearts 3, where we play as Roxas, Riku, and Aqua, but dropping threads for the next arc for Kingdom Hearts. As stated by Tetsuya Nomura, this is just the end of the first Kingdom Hearts arc, and we'll now be going into the second arc, where likely the Master of Masters is going to be the antagonist, or at least this second arc will build up to that. Link's Awakening Remake. I've never actually played Link's Awakening. Admittedly, I have trouble playing Game Boy games because the repeating music tends to irritate me, and the colors of the original Game Boy kinda hurt my eyes if I stare at it for too long. So I'm glad this game is getting a remake. The art style is absolutely precious. Everything looks like we're zooming in on someone's miniature chibi set for Zelda, and it's amazing. I definitely can't wait to play this game. Breath of the Wild 2. I kid you not, I stared at my screen, audibly shouting, "What?" the minute those words came on screen. Breath of the Wild has now quickly become my second favorite Zelda game of all time, Twilight Princess still being number 1 because it was my first Zelda game and Midna is best companion, just saying. There's so many questions I have about Breath of the Wild 2 and so many theories I have that I can't wait to hear more about it. But I hope it doesn't take another 5 years to a point where it's on a new console again. Also, I hope we get a playable Zelda this time. If Zelda is playable, then I'll place my bets right here and right now that I'll cosplay as Zelda when I review Breath of the Wild 2. No honorable mentions this time, except that I'm super excited for Banjo and Kazooie in Smash. Also, fun fact, you guys are technically getting Goku in Smash. Dragon Quest is designed by the creator of Dragon Ball, so yeah, technically y'all are still getting Goku. One quick thing I do want to mention since Dragon Quest is being ported to Switch is that I think the artist for Dragon Ball is suddenly a million times better at his art when he's not drawing characters who are addicted to steroids. Just saying. And now for number 1, the moment you all know I'm excited for, because let's be honest, this was predictable for me to put at number 1 if you looked at my Twitter. Final Fantasy VII Remake. Though I have never played Final Fantasy VII before, with the remake being the first time I'm experiencing the story, I fell in love with the characters through Kingdom Hearts and Advent Children. The game not only looks amazing, but has a fantastic story that looks to be a lot more fleshed out, and the gameplay looks incredible as well. I have to say that the game looks to be one of the most unique action RPGs to date, and I'm super proud of Square for every constructive criticism they're taking from their most recent games and putting them to good use. Well, yes, Final Fantasy VII's remake will be put on 2 or 3 games. Keep in mind that the original game was also on 3 discs back in the PS1 era. This game is so massive that apparently the first game alone will be on 2 discs for physical copies. Not only is this a great remake, but I wonder what this means for the canon of other games in Final Fantasy VII's universe. Will Dirge of Cerberus, Crisis Core, and Advent Children still be considered canon, or will the games be tweaked to work around these? The game also looks absolutely incredible, with Midgar feeling like a real industrial city, and Sephiroth and Cloud looking absolutely gorgeous, my gosh. My thirst for Cloud and Sephiroth isn't just regular thirst. No. This will be advanced thirst. The most terrifying thirst there is. Enough with the fun jokes though. I'm super excited for all these games. I love seeing so many sequels to some games I really enjoy, and there were definitely some shockers. Though, who won E3 this year? I think it's the same we say every fucking year, Nintendo and Square Enix. What can I say? They know how to make things we want. Anyway, be sure to tell me down below which games you're excited for from E3. I'd love to hear what everyone else is super excited about. Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you liked the video, then be sure to give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing if you're new. And if any old or new subs would like to help support the channel in any way, then feel free to visit my Ko-fi page down below in the description, along with my social media tabs. For any subscribers, new or old, who'd like to help with video ideas or maybe want to talk about anime or something, then I have a fan server linked down below. See you next time!